Yeah, okay. It's we haven't been up here too long, but it was good. The families got up here as well. So, well, most of the families we're still hoping to get a few more up. The next couple of days. But yeah, like I say, it's if you're going to be in the hub anywhere, you couldn't find too many better places than up here at Twin Waters. So, in the situation we're in, even though it's not ideal, it's the situation we have to be in, it probably is the ideal. So everyone's settling in okay, and there's obviously still a few challenges, but at the end of the day, hopefully we can sort them out because I think we're going to be here for longer rather than shorter, to be quite honest. When we first were told, it was two weeks, 3 weeks at worst, but from a few figures that we got the other day off the NRL, they come on a Zoom meeting with all the players and all the staff. I wouldn't be surprised if we're here for the rest of the season, to be quite honest. But it depends on what happens down in Melbourne, obviously with the numbers and whatever. But as I say, I wouldn't be surprised if we're here for most of the season. This week has been a real topsy-turvy thing. We 2 days we were in Melbourne. We had to get out, so we went to Homebush. Played our game against the Warriors at Cogra. So, and then the next day we're up here. So, it's been really hectic, to be quite honest. And basically our world's been sort of tipped upside down a little bit. But as we go on, this week we just didn't want to put too much, I suppose, pressure on them with too much routine. Just what we think's really important, but also give them a little bit of time to settle in, but also give them a little bit of time to help their families settle in as well. A lot of them got obviously kids and whatever, so it's a big change for all the families that are up here. And and since we've been here, as I said, we've probably realised we're going to be here a lot longer than what we thought we were going to be here. So trying to get the other families up is really important for us at the moment as well. So like I say, it's been a little bit of a different week preparation wise, but only because the situation we're in. As I said, we didn't want to put too much pressure on them and let them have that settling in period, I suppose, with their families. And hopefully after this, it'll all settle down a little bit more and we can get back to a little bit more routine.
How much of a benefit will be having the families here?
Oh, huge, I think. Like I say, it's being away for the 2 weeks, and I think the families that didn't come up, 2 weeks, well, that's not such a long time. Some of the partners that have obviously got jobs and whatever, and but now that it looks like it's going to be a whole heap more than 2 weeks, they're going to be really important. Really important for the players, but also really important that the players, around their families as well. Being away from your family for 8 or 10 weeks isn't ideal, obviously. So we see it as very important.
Greg, you see the predicament the AFL's in now. They don't know what they're going to do with some of their teams. I mean, Are you thanking your lucky stars that you did leave when you did?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think looking back now, at the time we were sort of, why have we got to go? But you can see the reasons why. But was it that? Are we just being a little bit cautious or whatever? But looking at it now, we probably were lucky to get out when we did. As far as our footy lives go, without a doubt, if we were sort of moving now, we'd probably be in quarantine and whatever. So I think certainly we picked the right time to come.
Would you like to play a proper NRL game here?
Love to. I think we're in the throes of trying to play the Titans game here, which is not too far down the track. I think we've got Canberra next week after the Roosters, and then we play the Titans game. So I'm not quite sure what has to happen for that to happen. But they've obviously played games here before, and not only trial games. I think the Warriors played South up here last year. So I think we'd love to, and if we're going to be here for a whole heap of time, we'd love to play all our games here, if we can, because it's obviously not as much travel, going to the Suncorp, but there's probably going to be another couple of clashes with, I think the Union's starting up as well, so the Reds are going to be playing some home games. So I think that's with the Titans. I think the Reds are playing at Suncorp, so we can't play the Titans there. So we'd love to play them here, and we'd love to play all our home games, or a few of them anyway. Now what has to happen for that to happen, I'm not quite sure, but we'd certainly love to play some of our games here while we're up here.
Craig, speaking of being in Queensland, you've probably seen the predicament and all the negative headlines on the Brisbane Broncos at the moment. Are you surprised that a club like that has gotten themselves in the position they're in right now?
Oh, I don't really want to comment on that. At the end of the day, it's I don't know what's going on internally and whatever, but it's certainly a tough time for the whole club, and you don't like to see any club go through that. But like I say, it's I don't really know what's happened or what hasn't happened, but I'm sure they'll sort it out.
It is a surprise, though. I mean, they were such a proud club for a long, long time, weren't they?
Yeah, again, all clubs have times when you go through tough times. Like, I remember we lost 5 games in a row in 2012, and I remember getting a few envelopes with hate mail, and I remember one guy cut up his season tickets, send them to me. He said, disgraced, 5 losses in a row, and I don't know whether this can happen to the Broncos. We end up winning the comp that year. So it can, like I say, everyone goes through, all clubs go through a real tough time, and you just got to try and ride it out and try and improve.
It's not good though, the death threats some of them are getting on.
No,
that's not acceptable.
Well, it's not acceptable, but with all due respect, it seems to be part of life these days, and that doesn't, again, with the footy, there's a lot of, and as I say, life in general, I think it comes from that, but in sport, there seems to be a lot more negative news than there is good news, so that seems to be the way it is.
Craig Riley comes in at 6 for this game.
Yeah.
What does he sort of bring to the side? Obviously, it's pretty handy to have a bit of an experienced player, I suppose.
Yeah, again, it was coming down, Cooper Johns as well, but this is a game against the Roosters, who are head and shoulders above anybody else at the moment. So we thought Riley was the right guy. He's already had 2 games, with Jerome breaking his hand, and he was tremendous in our win against Newcastle. Again, team wasn't as good against the Panthers, so so we just think that he's really solid. He's made he's had a lot of first grade experience, so we just think that's the right way to go for this game. We'll check it out as it goes, and we'll see how long we think Munster's going to be out, but like I say, we just think that's the right way to go at the moment.
How big of a loss is?
Oh yeah, well if he hasn't been our best player this year, he's been our top 2, so he's a huge loss, and he's really, probably a bad thing to say, but he's really grown up this year, to be quite honest, and he's not only is he adding to the team on the field, he's adding a whole heap to us off the field, so I suppose he's matured, and he's been tremendous this year, so we're going to miss him, but at the end of the day, we have to get on with it and try and still do the best we can without him, and so like I said, it hasn't been, and I suppose with us moving up here, it's probably been a bit of a good thing. No one's had too much time to think about what we're going to do without Munster, but like I say, hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later, and but like I say, we've got a lot of confidence in Riley. He's played a lot of first grade footy.
Will Smithy stay at hooker, or will he try and in and out of the...
There could be a couple of swaps around at some stage, but we'll see how we go. Again, with Brandon on the bench, he adds a lot to our footy team. Not only a dummy up, but also playing in the ruck as well. So it'll be a little bit how the game goes, but we've got a little plan there. But sometimes your plan doesn't go to plan because of other things happening in the game. So, but we think we can move Cameron into the halves if we need to, because we've got a great back up there in Brandon.
Touched on Cooper before. How close is young John?
Yeah, again, with Munster getting hurt, you know, he's certainly come into consideration without a doubt. But for him, as you know, and I've said it a few times this year, it's hard for those guys to really impress at the moment because they're not playing. You know, so you know, it's a difficult situation for him, and for a few other players, and a lot of other players and a lot of other clubs. You know, so we're just relying on them, and they're relying on themselves training well and having a good attitude every training session. But it's hard because they're not playing. You know, and like I say, it's you know, I think we've got to, you know, try and work harder to get, you know, some sort of competition, not like a competition as far as, you know, points or whatever, but trying to get them into more game situation. I know it's really hard to play 13 on 13 for those guys, but if, you know, you could get a 7 on 7, we had a 7 on 7 with Penrith, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and at least that's given those guys a chance to impress and something for them to look forward to during the week.
Would you have liked to have seen maybe the Intrust Super Cup not pull the pin as early as they did?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But you know, like I'm not critical of that because I don't know the. You know, I can imagine the financial things, and you know, there was other reasons as well. But you know, for those players I'm talking about there that are trying to make a name for himself, and you know, trying to, you know, basically this year's nearly, you know, it's half a write-off for them. You know, but you know, there's going to be some that we're going to need, but there's going to be others that won't, you know, get any time. So I think we've got to be really aware of that situation and their needs. You know, like it's hard to expect them to be training, you know, enthusiastically and turned up ready to go every training session when they don't really get a chance to impress. You know, so they're just relying on injury, which is not, you know, that's not ideal at all.
Brisbane's got a lot of injuries of their own. No Victor Radley, no Sam Mills. Has that been a talking point for you blokes coming?
No, not really. We've sort of talking about who they got, not who they haven't got. You know, so. As I said, you know, they've been head and shoulders above any team, you know, since the break. Yeah, I don't know what you know, what their training was, or you know, what their mindset was, you know, during the break. But whatever they did, you know, it's worked, and like I say, they've come back head and shoulders above, you know, everybody else. So you know, we'll have our work cut out tomorrow night.
Craig, if I could, our Falcons Player of the Year, Harry Green, he's obviously having a good season, second on the Dally M. I mean, have you been keeping one sort of eye on how he's going as well?
I haven't really watched all his games. I spoke to him before his first game. He gave me a ring and you know, had a bit of a chat to him. So, yeah, we knew, you know, he's probably, you know, probably wouldn't have predicted he's gone as well as he's gone. But you know, he's a dead set first grader, and I think they're talking about in Origin now. So, yeah, and we knew that, but. Obviously, you know, with us, and even last year, you know, he was ready to play first grade, but because we've got, you know, Cameron and Brandon, it was hard for us to fit him in, you know. So he's getting some really good experience at the moment, and you know, he's doing a great job for the Tigers.
You got Bunkin at Twin Waters at the moment. Who are they?
Say again?
Is the room schedule the same? Is there like their away games? How's it work?
We're all on our own here, so we've got our own room. So yeah, well, as I said, you know, 3/4 of them got families. So.
With them letting crowds back into stadiums, and Melbourne Storm, they've got a good supporter base in Queensland. You'd have to be pretty confident with that.
Oh yeah, it's always nice to have some support, and that's why we like to play here. We like to think that there's a few supporters here, you know, with our connection with the Falcons. So yeah, like I say, we'd love to play some games here, but if that doesn't happen, you know, we're always, you know, we always enjoy our games at Suncorp as well. You know, it's a great stadium. It's probably the best rugby league stadium in the world, to be quite honest. So. Yeah, as far as where we play while we're up here, our home games, you know, whichever way it goes, we're not going to be disappointed there.